If you've been researching how to retire for cheap in Italy under the Elective Residence Visa, you've probably come across the widely cited income requirement, €38,000 per year. But here's where it gets tricky. Is that amount required per person or per couple? It's a question that's been causing confusion in the expat community. And in this Retire for Cheap in Italy video, we're going to dive into the official guidelines, the practical reality, and what real applicants and legal experts are saying. If you're planning your retirement in Italy, this is a must-watch before you apply. But first, let's learn a little bit about Puglia, my favorite region to retire for cheap in Italy. Located in the heel of Italy's boot, Puglia is located in the southern part of Italy and stretches along the Adriatic Sea to the east and the Ionian Sea to the southeast. Puglia enjoys a Mediterranean climate with hot, dry summers and mild, wet winters, making it ideal for those who enjoy warm weather year-round. Puglia has a population of approximately 4 million people. One of Puglia's greatest draws is its extensive coastline. No matter where you are in Puglia, you're never far from the beach. The region boasts over 800 kilometers, or approximately 500 miles, of coastline, featuring both sandy beaches and rocky coves. Puglia has several airports, including Brindisi Salento Airport, providing easy access to other parts of Italy and Europe. Puglia is significantly more affordable compared to other popular Italian regions. Whether it's housing, groceries, dining out, or healthcare, you'll find that retiring for cheap in Italy is definitely possible in Puglia. Italy's program for retirees from abroad offers a flat 7% income tax for up to 10 years. This incentive is particularly attractive for pensioners seeking financial advantages in a sunny and relaxed environment. There are several 7% income tax regions in southern Italy. Puglia is one of these regions. This is a big opportunity because taxes in Italy normally are between 23 and 43%. To get the 7% income tax in Puglia, you must live in a town of less than 20,000 people. There are also income requirements to qualify for the 7% income tax in Puglia. You must have passive income or retirement income of at least €31,000 or $34,000 for a single applicant, and €38,000 or $42,000 for a couple. More on that in a minute. There is also a dual taxation treaty between the US and Italy. This treaty is designed to prevent you from being taxed on the same income by both countries. If you're a non-European Union citizen, you'll need a visa to retire in Italy. The Elective Residence Visa is the one you'll need to apply for. This visa is specifically for those who can support themselves without working in Italy. The process involves proving your financial stability, having private health insurance, and securing a place to live in Italy. Securing a place to live does mean that you need to have signed a lease or purchased a property in order to acquire a visa. Italy boasts a high-quality healthcare system, and Puglia is no exception. With access to modern medical facilities and highly trained healthcare professionals, you can enjoy peace of mind knowing that your health needs will be well taken care of. In Puglia, the healthcare system is quite robust, though it differs from what you might be used to in the United States. Italy offers a public healthcare system called the Servizio Sanitario Nazionale, or SSN, which provides comprehensive coverage to residents. This annual health insurance comes to €2,000 per year. The quality of healthcare in Puglia is generally good, with many facilities and services available, though you may find that wait times for certain treatments can be longer than in the United States. You can, however, jump the line, but there will be a small charge for that. It is fair to assume somewhere between €20 to €50 to jump the line. Prescription drugs will be significantly cheaper than in the United States, at least 50% cheaper. Puglia is generally a safe place to live, with low crime rates compared to other regions in Italy. The smaller towns, in particular, offer a peaceful and welcoming atmosphere, where locals tend to look out for one another. Violent crime is rare, and most safety concerns revolve around petty theft, such as pickpocketing in tourist-heavy areas. As with any destination, it's wise to take standard precautions, like securing valuables and being aware of your surroundings, especially in larger cities like Bari or Brindisi. However, for retirees looking for a relaxed and safe environment, Puglia's charming villages and coastal towns provide a secure and tranquil lifestyle. One potential issue is an Italian driver's license. After living in Italy for 1 year, you can't drive on your American license, and you have to speak Italian basically at a B1 level to pass the driver's license exam. That is pretty proficient for a non-native speaker, so when looking at needing a car, there are considerations that are different than what you are likely used to. For this reason, living close to public transportation has been prioritised in all of our Retire for Cheap in Italy videos. And with that, let's jump into the Elective Residence Visa. We will start with the Italian Consulate of New York and see what they have to say, because they show up first in our Google search. Unfortunately, we do not really get any financial information from their site, but they do provide us with links to fill out the visa application form, as well as information regarding visa fees. This is not really the point of this video, so we will move on. We will also look at the Italian Consulate of San Francisco, which we can see Google has ranked third in this search, and see if it offers any new information. It is circled towards the bottom of the page in red. We can see this is quite different. The first paragraph says that the Elective Residence Visa is targeted at wealthy people, but it does not define what that means. It only says that they want people who can demonstrate a stable and ample pension income and high financial resources. The second paragraph makes it clear that the Elective Residence Visa is not for some extended vacation, or to visit family members who have jobs in Italy. It is intended for those who want to live in Italy on a permanent basis. The third paragraph makes it clear that you cannot work for a domestic employer and must be able to sustain yourself based on existing financial assets. Continuing on, the fourth paragraph states that the Elective Residency Visa is good for exactly 1 year, and that means you must reapply every year. Applicants must apply at police headquarters for a residency permit. The fifth paragraph states that the application review process can take up to 3 months, although they try to keep it under 30 days. They make a point of saying that you should not purchase airplane tickets before receiving a visa. On pages 2 and 3, we see that there are 14 required documents. This includes the need to provide your passport, proof of residence in the jurisdiction that you will live in Italy, which could be a utility bill, a photograph of you, a visa form completely filled out, a lease or rental contract in Italy completely filled out, proof of substantial and steady passive income, although again, we don't see any numbers yet, an FBI criminal background check conducted in the last 6 months, bank statements for the last 3 months that prove passive income, the last 2 federal tax returns, a letter specifying your reasons for wanting to move to Italy, and a check for the visa application fee. This is all very enlightening, but still does not answer our question. Let's see what a couple of law firms who are on page 1 of Google and have an updated 2025 version of their advice regarding the Elective Residence Visa have to offer us. Bersani Law begins by highlighting many of the things we have seen before, but they also include a general statement on Italian consulates. The Italian Elective Residence Visa is for foreigners, retired persons, persons with high self-sustaining incomes and financial assets like HNWIs, who have chosen Italy as the country of permanent residence or long-term relocation, we add, and who can support themselves autonomously without having to rely on employment while in Italy, whether as dependent employees, as self-employed employees, or employees working remotely online. You cannot finance your residence in Italy through any work. Within their brief financial preparation section, under proof of income, they state that you need to show proof of sufficient income to support yourself. This can come from pensions, savings, investments, or other sources. The required amount varies, but is generally around €31,000 per year for individuals and $38,000 for couples. They briefly highlight other aspects that we have covered in almost every video. They again highlight the minimum income requirement, but that's about it. Let's see what the Italian lawyer website has to say. It's also on page 1 of my Google search. My search was simply Elective Residence Visa Italy. This site makes it clear they are focused on 2025 based on their homepage. They write a bunch of stuff at first that we already know. Note that they also state that for a single person, the minimum financial requirement is €31,000, and that for a married couple, it is $38,000. They do also state within the second bullet point that the amount is increased by 20% for every dependent child that comes with you, which I was unaware of. Everything else here we have already seen, except that they highlight the price of the visa application fee, which they say is €116 per person, payable in cash or money order to the Consulate of Italy, with the applicant's name and address on the money order. They review common pitfalls and mistakes, which is interesting. They start by mentioning inadequate income documentation and that you must provide more than just bank statements. You need clear proof of regular, passive income sources. Incomplete property documentation is another pitfall they mention. Missing rental contracts or property ownership papers that meet specific Italian legal requirements will lead to your visa application being denied. And then they dive deeper into financial documentation. This is the final bullet and several sub-bullets towards the bottom of the page. Again, they mention that relying solely on savings will be an issue. While substantial savings are beneficial, consulates primarily want to see steady, guaranteed income streams. You also want to clearly separate passive income from active employment earnings. You want to provide clear documentation of income in euros or official conversion rates. You want to make sure that your financial information is not outdated. Submitting financial documents older than 3 months could be a problem. And then this last one is interesting for our desired topic. An insufficient income buffer could also be a problem. Meeting only the minimum financial requirement without showing additional reserves could be an issue. They do not really highlight what those additional reserves should be, but maybe they will enlighten us further down the page. Next, we get 5 tips for a successful application. First, aim to demonstrate income well above the minimum threshold and include multiple years of financial records to show stability. We may not get a precise number or even a range. What continues to be implied, if not directly stated, is that €38,000 per couple is the annual passive income minimum. But you may very well need to show more than that either in passive income or retirement savings. Next, make sure that you have secured long-term accommodation arrangements before applying for the visa. We are seeing that consistently. And then they highlight creating a comprehensive document checklist, submitting your application at least 3 to 4 months before planned relocation, and considering working with an Italian immigration lawyer for complex cases. We could dive further into the bottom of page 1 in this Google search, or go ask ChatGPT, but they all say the same thing. The minimum requirement for an individual is €31,000, and the minimum for a couple is €38,000. If the law has changed, the internet is completely unaware of it, which makes it highly unlikely. However, it is very possible that a couple who only had the minimum passive income and very little in reserve was not awarded with elective residence visas. We do not have precise information on what that number might be. I would say that means keep contributing to your retirement accounts even if you have a pension. Thank you for taking this trip with us as we have explored the elective residence visa in more depth. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss more of our Retire in Italy for Cheap videos. Safe travels, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.